Good afternoon, everyone. Phil Simons here with Columbia Grain and your weekly grain market recap. Well, once again, this week's price action was driven by the headlines, and there were a lot of them on the week. On Monday, we had the monthly USDA supply and demand report, which rocked the soybean market higher by 75 cents a bushel on the day, as the potential yields dropped off more than expected. Along with this, corn confirmed the potential lower yields there as well. But since the report's release on Monday, there seems to have been some hedge pressure holding a lid on the bean market for now. That, coupled with the potential demand picture being unclear, as Argentina sold a lot of soybeans on the world market this week, taking the demand potentially away from the US, which was really making the overall supply and demand table a little bit more unclear, which created choppy trade this week. Regardless of this, the broader circumstances have tight balance sheet for the US, but the growing conditions and the weather in the US do look favorable in the near term, which has really grinded the market lower after the explosive move on Monday. We also had the weekly export sales systems come back online this week after the USDA tried to switch over to a new reporting system. And it's really funny how you never know how important something is until you don't have it. It's kind of like running water or electricity. But nevertheless, we're back in the saddle, and the report really did come in line with the overall expectations in terms of U.S. Export sales reports numbers. There was also a lot of talk over the potential rail strike in the U.S., creating even more uncertainty in the markets, as the overall impact to the general economy was estimated at costing close to $2 billion a day if the rail system in the U.S. were to shut down. But at the end of the day, this potential crisis was evaded, and we did dodge another bullet. Putin was in the spotlight as well as meetings were being held later this week to discuss the safe harbor passageways for grain cargoes. Putin's tone has actually been surprisingly light on this topic, and we have not really seen the markets add additional risk premium being built into the markets. However, I will say that there was a late day surge in futures that may have been putting some what if scenario risk premium built into the market as they continue some of these conversations going into the weekend, as you never know what can happen when we come back in on Monday. But again, a lot of headlines hitting the markets, really driving the prices all over the place. And again, just to do a quick recap in terms of what we've seen this week, November beans had the biggest range. November beans had $1.06 range. And they were actually able to close the week out with a net gain of 39 cents. Dees corn had an overall range of 32 cents, actually closing the week out with a week-on-week loss of 4 cents. Let's see, Dees wheat had a range of 54 cents, closing the week out with a net loss of 5 cents on the week. If we look over at Kansas December, again, the range was pretty big at 48 cents. But they were actually able to hold on to the week with a net gain of 10 cents. And then let's see, Minneapolis December had an overall range of 38 cents, and they were actually able to hold on to 14 cents of that range through week on week. So really be sure to get a hold of your local Columbia Grain merchandisers and get your orders out there. As we can see, again, the range and the knee-jerk reactions that we see to headlines and news hitting the markets are definitely severe. And remember, the first 5 letters of broker spell broke. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll talk with you next week.